4 rounds of boxing, super middleweights.
Ready to go here from the Twin River Event Center. Pat Sullivan joined now by Hammer and Hank Lundy of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the #2 fighter in the world in the lightweight division. Hank, thanks for joining us here for this matchup between Bobo the Bull and Paul Gonzalez.
Hey, no problem, bro.
Bobo the Bull, 9-7-2, 2 knockouts. Paul Gonzalez, 3-2 with 3 knockouts. So, Hank, you have Paul Gonzalez, who has won every fight he's ever won by knockout, and you have Bobo, 9-7-2 and 2 knockouts. Not a lot of knockout power, but just a guy who loves to fight.
Yes, but sometimes, you know, you can't go by the record because the guy is really tougher than the record shows. So you got to, be in here and be ready for whatever. And Bobo, you know, it's a crazy name, but he going to put on.
Bobo the Bull, he's lost 3 in a row, 4 of his last 5, but he always comes to fight. That's one thing about Bobo. We've seen some of the most exciting fights here at Twin River have featured Bobo the Bull STARNINO, and he always ready to go here. Certainly facing a tall task of Paul Gonzalez coming off a knockout win in March against Nick Lavin. Paul Gonzalez, he's a tough puncher.
Yes, we can see now that he's trying to, you know, stick out that jab and trying to keep Bobo off him. But like I always say, Bobo, you know, he likes to press the fight. So this fight should be a good, exciting fight.
Bobo also, Hank, is coming off back-to-back knockout losses. That's something that Bobo's never faced before. He's lost majority decisions, split decisions, unanimous decisions, but never really knockouts. And he's been knocked out in his last 2 fights. You know, he's 40 years old. Maybe age is catching up a little bit to Bobo, but the last thing that always leaves you, Hank, is your power and your heart.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Paul Gonzalez here in the white trunks. Bobo the Bull in the red, white, and green.
Right away, we see Paul, he's working that jab, keeping Bobo away from him with that jab. Nice combination right there.
You see Paul, the orthodox right-hand fighter. Bobo the Bull, southpaw.
You know what? I see Bobo, he's giving him a little bit problem with the southpaw. Oh, good shot by Bobo. See, sometimes, you know, the southpaws could be a big advantage for a right-hand fighter.
I think you've obviously faced fighters that have had opposite stances from you. What's that like looking across the ring and seeing somebody throw it from different angles?
Well, you know, with me, I fight for both sides, so I have to adjust it for anything you throw at me.
Out of everybody to ask, I had to ask somebody that can fight lefty and righty. Of course, I asked Hammer and Hank. 26 seconds to go here in the opening round of a scheduled 4 between Bobo the Bull and Paul Gonzalez. And it was just 3 fights ago for Bobo where he fought for the New England title against Joey McCready. A majority decision loss. One of the better fights that have ever taken place here at Twin River. And Bobo certainly showed a lot of heart in that fight. Then he went out and fought 5-2 Ronaldo Rodriguez, was knocked out in the 4th round. And then he went and took a really tough fight against an 8-0 20-year-old. And he got knocked out in that. And for Bobo at 40 years old to fight an undefeated 20-year-old, that just shows you what kind of heart he has.
That's a lot of heart right there. And you know, in this fight right now, I can see through the 1st round, Bobo, he been working on his head movement, missing, and he has his guy missing, and I mean, he just looked good in there with his defense.
Bobo coming from North Providence, Rhode Island, the town over here from Lincoln. Paul Gonzalez coming all the way from Harwich, which probably about a 3.5-hour, maybe even 4-hour drive for Paul to make the trip here. This is his 3rd fight here at the Twin River Event Center. His last time here, though, he was knocked out in 51 seconds by Dante Wiggins, who coincidentally is trained by the same guy who trains Bobo. So maybe the 401 boxing gym will have the same sort of luck here against Paul Gonzalez. We'll see as round number 2 is about to start.
See, what I like Bobo to do a little bit more is shoot that jab to his body, make him crowd over, and then drop the left hand.
Bobo, just like his nickname, he's a bull. He's just going to go in there and throw whatever punch he sees opening. But you're right, he certainly should try to bend Gonzalez over, the taller fighter. And with Paul's reach, he could certainly keep Bobo at bay.
Yes. The one thing I like about Bobo, his defense. He got the ability to slip punches, but when he make his guy miss, he had to make him pay. Good solid shots by Paul. See, with Bobo's style, you know, he had to trick a lot of guys to walk into his power because you could tell he's strong, but he had to get Paul to walk into his power. A lot of head movement from Bobo. I like it.
Paul Gonzalez started his career off 2-0, both wins in Plymouth, Mass, which is probably about a half hour away from his hometown in Harwich. And when he suffered his first loss, he took 16 months off in between fights, a long layoff for a fighter. And Bobo on the other side, with just about as much time off after he lost to McCready. Both guys still trying to get back in the field of boxing here. And 16 months is a long time in between fights, Hank.
Yeah, that's a long time. Even after my, you know, my first loss to John Molina, you know, I got right back in the ring within, 3 weeks? And I wanted to show the world that stoppage was a fluke. He didn't knock me out. The referee took the fight away from me. But, you know, me being a fighter, I wanted to get back in there and show the world that it just was a fluke. And ever since that, I've been on the tear. So it's good after a fight like that, if you get knocked out or you lose, it's good to jump right back into the fight and get them cobwebs off. And that also help you build your confidence.
And Hank, speaking of your career here, we see Paul Gonzalez coming all the way from Harwich, a 4+ hour drive. And you've had to fight all over the world.
Yes.
Because nobody wants to go to Philly to fight you. They don't want to go to your hometown. But you're going to be fighting near home soon in New Jersey, which we'll get to a little later on. But what's it like having to go all over the country to take fights?
Well, you know what? I love it. I love putting my little bundle on the back of my stick, going out and fighting these guys in their hometown. At the end of the day, you know, it becomes my hometown. Anywhere I fight at, you know, it becomes my arena. And I've been to Montreal, I've been all over, and after all them fights, you know, I had they fans chanting Hammer and Hank. So at the end of the day, if you ain't a Hammer and Hank fan, you're gonna become one.
Hammer and Hank will be fighting in July 27th. More information to come. Check out cesboxing.com for all the information as round 2 comes to a close of a scheduled 4.
See, Pat, I don't know if you've seen that shot right there where Boo Boo, he also threw a jab to the body and like a roundhouse left hand. That's what he's going to need to do to kind of offset Paul. And it was a clean shot, and it worked. And it also backed Paul up. Like shots like that, he can steal a fight and win it big.
And the thing with Bobo is he's going to keep coming, whether it's his first round or the 4th round. And we're going to really see what Paul's made of in these last 2 rounds. He may have won that first round. He may have even won the second round. But we're going to see really what he's made of in the last 2 rounds when Bobo doesn't stop coming forward.
Yeah, he's a bull. I tell you what, that's that Italian in him. You know, since I've been to Providence, Rhode Island, I adopted a little bit Italian in me, you know.
Certainly, Jimmy Birchfield taking you under his wing and bringing you to Federal Hill and introducing you to all the Italians up there.
Yes.
Probably I'm second home for you.
Yeah, that's my second home, hands down. Providence, Rhode Island is my second home. Oh, nice solid shots by Bobo.
You see,
he's
Bobo,
a bull.
He's certainly coming out here on fire. He doesn't.
Look at him, he's working. He's working in there. Oh, nice little left hand uppercut. He's rolling right about now.
You know, Bobo's a guy, he's 9-7-2. You know, this is probably going to be as far as his career is going to take him to be fighting in fights like this. He's certainly not going to get that world title opportunity, especially at 40 years old. But you know what? This is what Bobo loves to do. He loves to get in there and grind and fight.
Exactly. And you know what? His fans love it for him. That's a good level. Oh, did he just put him down with a hook behind the head? He's amped right now. Is he counting? Yes, sir. Look at Bobo.
There's Bobo the Bull in his 3rd round knockdown. Paul Gonzalez obviously not happy, but you know what? His glove touched the mat, and right now, Hank, his corner's saying come forward, and that's what we talked about. If Bobo picks up the pressure and can continue it, Gonzalez could be in trouble.
Yeah, but like I told you, if he mix it up, he could walk him right into punches, and as we see right there, he walked him right into a punch right there. Bobo is amped up right now.
At 40 years old, he's still in there, banging, knocking the opponent down and coming forward.
Oh, listen, Pat. I'm going to have to call Bernard and tell him to look out. We got somebody from Providence, Rhode Island doing it. Good solid shot by Bobo. He's on fire right now.
And I'll tell you what, I'm sure Bobo would take that fight too.
Oh, man. Oh. I thought that was a little push. It wasn't no shot really land, but, you know, this the game.
So each fighter exchanging knockouts here in round number 3, and suddenly this fight has become a brawl as Bobo just got rocked by a right hand by Gonzalez as his corner saying, come
Ooh,
forward.
good uppercut. That was a nice uppercut landed by Bobo.
And Paul's corner saying, come forward, and he may need to come forward
if he want to win this.
Bobo up.
Yes, sir. They should call him Bobo the Bulldozer.
And that's certainly his game plan, and that's why he's been so effective in this sport for so long.
Good overhand left. Caught him right on top of the head. Now, I really don't know if Bobo really fought him. He's cracking him with some devastating shots right there. Look at that, another one. He's amped up right about now.
Bobo may have the body of a 40-year-old, but the heart of an 18-year-old out there slugging it out with Paul Gonzalez, each exchanging knockdowns, and Bobo really firing at all cylinders right now. This could be one of the best he's looked and one of the hardest he's fought in some time.
He's charged up. I tell you what, boxing, this is what we need. You get guys like this. If a 40-year-old man can get in there and fight like this, man, and we got young guys that are scared to fight, man, I take my hat off to Bobo. He putting on the show tonight.
End of round number 3. Bobo knocked Paul down at the beginning of the round. Bobo then was knocked down by Paul in the last minute of the round.
Well, I can tell you what, Bobo's looking real good. He's doing his thing. He's charged up, amped up. He's ready to go. I like him to come out with a win on this one.
And the thing about Bobo is he's always a crowd pleaser. You will never see a boring fight as long as STARNINO's in one of those 2 corners. And that's what we're getting here tonight.
Exactly. I was at the last fight. You know, he seen, I caught the knockout that he suffered. But, you know, once again, he's back and he's putting on his show and he's fighting hard. He's giving his fans what they want to see.
They will see the replay, and Bobo, yeah, he was caught with that left jab. And,
I'm sorry, Paul, you did catch him. I'm sorry. I was being a little bit biased. My bad.
Paul, it almost looked like Paul may have almost caught him off balance. It was a good shot.
It was a good
Bobo
shot.
was definitely backing up in that.
Yeah, it's a legal shot.
Tough round to score on that last one, and this is a tough fight to score. Could come down to this 4th round, and especially if somebody can get a knockdown and steal the show here, you know both fighters are going to be looking for it.
Yes, sir, but then again, you got to know what the judges are looking for. Sometimes they score off aggression, and Bobo is the one bringing the fight.
Certainly a lot of what Paul is having to do is a lot of defense here because Bobo just keeps coming
good
forward.
Solid shot with that right hand. Paul is trying to set Bobo up. I tell you what, Bobo, man, he just come forward. He just come forward, non-stop. That Pearl Heart, I like that. That's something I drive off of, Pearl Heart. Don't care what you hit me with, you better get me out of there. And that's something that Bobo got, that Pearl Heart.
And I'll tell you how long Bobo has been fighting for, Hank. He used to spar with Vinny Paz when Vinny Paz was fighting for world titles. That shows you how long Bobo's been in the game.
Yes. And that's another good friend of mine. That's my brother, my big brother, Vinny Paz. He handed me the key to Rhode Island.
Vinny, a lot like Bobo, certainly a lot like you, a guy who never is in a boring fight, and he's certainly going to go for the knockout every time, or at least make sure that all the fans leave being proud that they spent the money that they did on a ticket. Because nowadays, you know, Hank, it costs money to go to these fights, and the economy the way it is, you really got to put on a show, which Bobo does, which you do, and that's certainly important to the fans.
Yes. At the end of the day, like I told most of these guys and young fighters coming up, your fans are what make you today, you know. And you got to go out there. You don't have to be cocky, but you got to put on a show for your fans and, you know, make them want to come back out and support you and come to your fights.
Certainly a reason, Hank, why you have fans all over the world from your fighting. And right now, I'll tell you, if anybody came in and they weren't a Bobo fan, I'm sure they are now.
They are now.
It's obvious to tell he's fighting on pure heart right now. And you know what? Hats off to Paul Gonzalez for hanging in there and doing what he's doing. And he certainly has been answering Bobo. And as soon as Bobo comes at him, Paul's been able to punch back. And we've talked a lot about Bobo, but Paul's fighting a heck of a fight too.
Yes. But one thing I seen that I didn't see in the last fight, Bobo defense has picked up, and you know, you can tell he learned a lot of new tricks in there. I seen him using the uppercut more. He's working in there. Look at him. He's a bull coming forward. Just ate a right hook, well, a left hook right there by Paul, but again, watch he comes forward. He just don't stop. Good fight right here.
Nice way to end this 4th and final round.
Bobo with the shoe shot.
Classic Bobo right there.
Good fight right here.
And I'll tell you, Hank, it's almost too bad that this was a 4-round fight and not a 6-round fight, because I definitely could have watched 2 more rounds of that.
Oh, me too. I enjoyed this fight.
And it's certainly going to come down to the scorecards here as the 4th round is over. The 3rd round, Hank, they both exchanged knockdowns. And as you mentioned earlier in this round, if the judges are going to score on aggression, Bobo was the aggressor for at least 3 of those 4 rounds. Paul may have landed some clean shots.
Yes.
It could come down to the style of preference from each judge. Again, it's why it's always tough to leave it up to the judges, because you never know.
But you know, one thing I learned, to never leave the fights in the judge's hands.
We've already seen 3 fights tonight that went to the judges, and the fighter who lost all complained that they got screwed in the decision.
That's why sometimes we can't leave it in the judge's hands. When you get in there, you got to handle business. Do what you got to do.
Coming up, Hank, we have some great fights. Rich Gingras and Terrence Smith. Certainly looking forward to that. But tonight's main event has to be one of the most exciting fights we've seen in New England in a lot of time. Joey the KO Kid with his 18 knockouts and 26 wins, fighting against Mr. Providence, Vladimir Biasi. Both of these fighters with Jimmy Birchfield, and for him to put these 2 fighters in such a dangerous fight against each other just shows that all CES wants to do is put on the best fights they can for the fans.
Exactly. You know, both of these guys are pretty good friends of mine. Like right now, I'm kind of biased who I want to win, but to me, it's like the best man win. In the back of my head, I know which fighter is going to win. I know both of their styles, but you know, the best to both of them. And I know they're going to come out and put on a good show.
And certainly the write-up going into that fight was the difference between power and athleticism. Joey has the power. Vladimir may have the athleticism, being a URI football alum. So we're certainly going to see what happens here. But one thing's for sure is Bobo may not have the power of some of the younger guys and may not have the athleticism, but he certainly has the heart. And that's for sure. Fighting at 40 years old and being able to do what he did as the ring announcer finally tallying up the decisions here that the judge gave him. And we're going to maybe have a controversial decision, as I'm sure both fighters think that they may be on the winning side of this.
I tell you what, man, if Bobo was a little bit smaller, I'd bring him to camp with me, because guys like that, you need them in camp. You never know what you're going to get in the fight, so guys like that will rough you up in the gym. It helps, and it goes a long way.
I tell you, Bobo would be a great sparring partner for someone getting ready for a big fight in his weight class, because he may not have that power to knock you out, but he's going to throw as many punches and back you up.
Exactly. He's busy in here. He's busy.
And let's see who won this fight. To the ring we take it to the ring announcer, Bill Carpenter.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice hand for both fighters? Gave us a great performance in that bout. 4 hard-fought rounds. Let's go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision. Judge Dr. Sam Martino scores the bout 40-37. Judges Wayne Lima and Ed Scourgio both score at 39-37. All 3 judges scoring for your winner by unanimous decision, Paul Gonsalves.